Namaste, angels, and thank you for joining, liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. Welcome to my first Gemini astrological reading. It's a bi-weekly reading in a very, very long time. This is in response to your request that I do this, for some of you have requested that I have shorter videos. Some of you have requested that I, do videos that are not necessarily associated with, divine unions or divine beings or twin flames. And this is incorporating like all of that. And actually what sealed the deal was the fact that I got a message this morning. So over the weekend, I announced that, I may have some free time to do some of the other types of readings that I've been wanting to get to you, like the teaching videos and stuff that I haven't been able to get a chance to because I always have so many client readings to do. But I finally caught up, and I had gotten like particularly, I don't know if I want to say behind, but like under the gun. Like I always had something to do. Once I ended up in the hospital that time, a few months back, but since then I've been working toward getting everything done, and this weekend I finally did that. I did the last client reading that I had to do. So I started thinking, well, okay, now's a good time when I can do these videos that they've been asking me for. And then today, this morning, on the general reading, somebody put a comment there. You can go and check it out for yourself, that they hadn't been to my channel in a year because they no longer felt that they were on a twin flame journey, and so they felt that my channel was, like specific to or for twin flames, and so they were no longer welcome, kind of. And I'm glad that they shared that with me because, I needed to know that because it's really not the case. I myself don't even identify as a twin flame, so. I certainly don't want to have people feeling that they're not welcome. Do I focus on divine beings? Yes. Am I a member of the Illumin? Yes. So, that's on which I focus. The 144,000, the other members of the elect, so about 650,000 of us. If I could reach all of us, I would. When when I'm able to reach all of us, I will. I haven't been yet, like not even close. But that is on who I focus, but more so as an individual, right? A divine being as an individual, to learn where we come from and where we're going, to understand what any of this is about, how it came to be, how it came to pass, what the prophecies say, what the scriptures say, any other, ancient texts that we have access to that I'm familiar with. I try to share all that information, knowledge, stuff that I know, with you guys, so that we can all come to understand better what it is we're doing here. Not necessarily having anything to do with being, as part of a couple or a union. So I'm happy to be able to do this. They will be having nothing to do with being a twin flame or a divine being, just astrological readings done by me. So in the future, they'll be a lot shorter and straight to the point. I'm not going to be doing any shuffling, like I do in my other readings. I'm just going to have these cards already, laid out here. Those of you who want to see if I'm able to shuffle and, go off the cuff, if you've never seen a reading of mine before, feel free to check out the others, my general weekly reading or love reading. And, you can check out my chops there, as they say. But here I won't be doing that. So, this being the first one, you have to hear me explain it, and in the future they should just be a lot more smoother and faster. And we're going to get into it right now. So this card will represent, your energy, Gemini, our energy. I too am a Gemini sun, surrounding us. So like our friends and family, the people closest to us, our work, and our love life. I'm also using some oracle cards. Angel therapy cards. Our overall energy is manifestation power. Use your spiritual gifts and natural abilities to attract your desired outcome. Manifestation power is very magician to me. Magician actually represents the sign of Gemini in the tarot. So this is telling us to get into our element. Gemini, you have the ability to focus on what it is you want and bring it to you. Even before I knew about any of the twin flame stuff or divine being or union stuff. I've been saying for years, probably about a decade, I'm a master manifester. I'm a master manifester because it's been true. Like stuff that I want and things that I say come true. When I was little, I used to watch this show. It was a cartoon. I think like from the UK. The little boy had an accent. His name was Simon, and he used to sing this song like as the show was starting. You know, my name is Simon, and the things I draw come true. And that's how I like have long felt about myself. Like the things I think, the things I say come true. So anyway, it's not just me that has that ability. It's a Gemini trait, it's a Gemini trait. So we all have this manifestation power of the magician. So also up right under this when I picked it up was crystals. And some of us may want to specifically work with those to focus on something. So like if you're trying to manifest love, for example, then maybe you should take your thoughts and words that you're speaking over yourself a step further and also, use some rose quartz. You know what I mean? Like in tandem, these two things. Hashtag creepy deck. Our overall energy, our card is travel. This is a very chariot-like card for me. In the tarot, the chariot represents the sign of Cancer. Could be dealing with a water sign, maybe specifically a Cancer. But Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, we may also actually be traveling. If we're not, it can be metaphoric, right? There's movement, so that's positive always. There's growth, expansion. We could be revisiting or a situation or, an issue to resolve it. From the Abundance Angels, no more complaining. Complaints are affirmations of victimhood, which is never true spiritually. Take back your God-given power by affirming that you have an abundance of choices and freedom. With your increased confidence and assertiveness, watch the positive affirmations blossom into reality. So this couldn't resonate better, really, with the energy of Gemini and our other card, Manifestation Power, because this is all about speaking, positivity or thinking positivity over your life, basically, and manifesting what it is you want. Rather than complaining and expressing negative emotions and negative thoughts and words, positive ones only. So, true Gemini fashion. And lastly, pay attention to the red flags the signs are cautioning you. So when I often look at the rest of my spread to see if there's any fire element cards, first and foremost, so that we have the King of Wands. So in this case, the red flag, it's a positive one. This is in the position of work, so I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but it's telling us the King of Wands in relation to work is that you may be having somebody who is maybe an older, more mature gentleman or something. It doesn't have to be a man. It could be a female. These things are really not gender specific or even sexuality specific. But, there is a likelihood that it's a male, right? Because the cards give us that extra description. They could have used the queen if they wanted to show us a female. But it can go either way. So anyway, there may be an older person, maybe more specifically male, and even more specific to that, maybe a light-haired male who somehow facilitates some sort of progress or growth for us, support for us at the job. If you're in a position and you're, seeking something greater, you know what, even if you're not seeking something greater, job or position at your existing company or maybe even somebody else, somewhere else, is likely to come to you, like in the near future, and maybe within this 2 weeks for which this reading is, something about which, you're passionate. So it'll be a job that you enjoy and, are happy to do. Maybe it matches with your ideology or, your ethics or, your creativity. It's something that comes naturally to you or whatever the case is, but you'll be very happy. If you're looking for a job, then also something coming your way soon that you can be very happy with. So I jumped ahead to the work placement. I otherwise meant to start with Major Arcana card 18, the Moon, which represents the sign of Pisces, even though there's like a big lobster here, so it looks kind of like Scorpion. But again, we have this travel card, and I said that there could be a water sign in your life, maybe with what you're dealing, or this could be your this in this placement. It is our energy. Maybe you have water energy. We're just feeling particularly intuitive and psychic, and maybe that's why our manifestation power is so heightened right now, because we have this energy of the moon with which we're working. Gemini, we are more intuitive and psychic than usual in this moment. Definitely pay attention to any messages that come. We also may find that we are distrustful of situations or people, or maybe to the contrary, overly trustful of situations or people, when we really, with the moon, sometimes what we see is not what we get, or that's not all it is. That's like superficial, and that's not what the full or real story is. It can be about a veil, especially right now, because Neptune, the ruler of Pisces, is actually currently retrograde in the sign of Pisces. So there's a lot of the veil thing going on. But again, jumping around, a 10 of Wands in reverse can be about, I don't want to say you being paranoid, because it's not to that extreme, but it can be about, like maybe distrusting someone or something, some sort of situation. And you do want to pay attention to your intuition and your gut feelings with this moon here. But at the same time, if you're able to investigate a little bit more, like don't just go because you had a feeling about somebody, go off on them. Like you want to check it out before you confront them, because you could just be stressed out with this 10 of Wands in reverse. And when I picked it up, normally I would only point out a card that's also upright. But in this case, this one is also upside down. And this is our energy, Geminis. It's the Queen of Swords that is in reverse here underneath the 10 of Wands in reverse, our overall energy. So, it may very well be us who is stressed out. We've just been doing too much. We've had a lot of things on our plate, and, so we're a little bit touchy. We're a little bit touchy. What else I want to tell you about the moon? Even in love, it's like a heightened emotional time, but we could pop off like unnecessarily. Things could go left, things could go right. You know what I mean? It's a very volatile and again, highly charged emotional time. So things could be all over the place. With an overall energy, you have to keep looking at the 10 of Wands. It's our overall energy. Leads me to think where there's a potential for us to lose it unnecessarily. So just, like watch yourself. Of course, the moon for me also always, particularly upright, represents feminine energy of surrender. So go with the flow too, especially like, if you're unsure or you don't know, then, don't stress yourself out trying to, use your intuition or feel something that you don't feel, your gut feelings, and you're not really feeling anything and you're not sure. Just let go with the flow, let the chips fall what they may, and, see how things work out. Surrounding you. Ooh. Friends and family. Knight of Swords in reverse. Watch communications too. When the Knight of Swords in reverse is in reverse, in relation to communication, and especially since we're talking about other people like your friends and family and stuff, there could be like hacked email or somebody listening in on a phone call or reading your messages. Just watch your communications. The Knight of Swords can also be connected, in reverse, can also be connected to travel plans or movement and things being delayed and like slowed down. So like the travel, if you are going on a trip or somebody close to you is trying to go on a trip or something, or maybe somebody's trying to visit you perhaps, and the things may not go right. There may be some problems, some difficulty, some delay, or if it's metaphoric, something that you expected to happen, anticipated even, may not be happening as quickly as you would have wanted or had it to happen. The King of Wands, I think I already talked about. It's in the work position, and again, somebody may be helping to move you forward. We're talking about movement. Somebody may be helping to facilitate growth for you. And if you are, wanting a newer or new position or position period, if you don't have a job and you're looking for one, or again, maybe like I said, maybe even if you're not looking, somebody may be looking at you, like this King of Wands person may be looking at you and saying, I think they're a good fit. I'm gonna, approach them with a job or an opportunity. I feel like it could even be something that's not like traditional work. Oh, okay, I have an example. Like, for example, I'm on a couple of boards, right, by appointment. And we need a new secretary on one of the boards that I'm on. And I'm the chair of the nominating committee. So it's like I have to facilitate the election. And, we got to approach some people and say, I think you'd be a good fit for this secretary position. So it's not traditional work. It's not even paid work. It's voluntary, but at the same time, it's an appointment. So it's still an honor. And if it's something, in which a person is interested in doing like community activism or advocacy, then it will be something about which they're passionate too. So that's just an example. You can, apply it to your life. If it applies. If it doesn't apply, I'm going to let it go. That's fine too. With relation to love and the Fool, our romantic life. Well, the Fool indicates there's a bunch of like excitement and fun coming to your life and your love life. And this guy's even got a flower in his hand. The sun is shining. The sun makes everything better. We're starting from zero. So it's like brand new. Fresh energy, a path we never walked before maybe, and just a lot of just really exciting, hot energy, and maybe hot people coming our way. If you're really interested in commitment and love right now, then be careful not to let all that, again, fun and excitement and hot energy and hot people distract you from what could be something genuine, because it may be like, in disguise. It's here crossing this moon, so it may not be like your typical type, in love, genuine love and these long relationships that go on forever. They don't always happen instantly. Sometimes we meet and, we may date other people and realize months down the line, years down the line, that we should have been dating all along, so it may not be, again, someone or something that you would notice. But if you are a person who knows I'm ready for something real, then just be mindful and watch. Keep your eyes open when you're dealing with all this fun stuff, and don't let the fun cause you to be distracted and to miss out on something real. All right, that's what I'm going to say about that. Further advice to the masculine archetype. Finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. Maybe because you're working too hard or you're too committed to work, because I don't see anything negative about finances here. This is all very positive. So I think it's not really financial issue. Maybe it's an issue because it's, as it relates to your love life, all work and no play or something. Or maybe you've taken on a leadership role or started your own business. King of Wands could be, somebody who's a boss, right? You're in charge, you're a leader. And so that may be how this is affecting your life. If that's the case, again, just be mindful that you need balance. Right? You can't be 10 of Wands. You can't be overwhelmed, can't be stressed out. You got to have a social life too. Feminine for us, religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. This can relate to the sanctity of a relationship, the sacredness of a relationship, and maybe if it is a soulmate or a twin flame, a divine union, whatever you want to call it, or even a some other sort of, they're all karmic relationship situations, like destined, clandestine, of the universe, meant to be for whatever reason, and to learn a lesson. So that can be why religious factors are showing up. Also, it could be like saying that our ideologies, or even our actual religious beliefs, if we have any, are a factor. Maybe keeping us from noticing, again, somebody else. Like, what if somebody else has a different belief system? Like I said, they might not traditionally be our type. And so don't let something like that get in the way, or blind you to a possibility if you're looking for a real possibility. Alternatively, with relation to the Fool, if you're not looking for real commitment, let the good times roll, right? Take a walk on the wild side. Again, don't be stressed out. Chill, be free. From the abundance, I have 2 abundance cards here for the masculine. So what am I missing? Hashtag creepy day. Oh, I'm missing it for both. Okay. So we're getting extra abundance cards, Gemini. I promise I didn't treat Gemini special, but we're getting to, it was completely a mistake. It's totally inadvertent. Take a divinely guided chance, masculine. All positive change and successful ventures, like I said, you might be getting your own business or something, or taking on a leadership role. They all require a degree of risk. There you go, the moon. The moon means that some stuff is hidden, right? The King of Wands is sitting right here under the moon. Some information is hidden. You don't know everything. You don't know what the future brings or holds, but take a chance. Follow your divine guidance to new territories. You're super psychic right now, and you have manifestation power and the power to concentrate on what it is you want. As you leave behind that which is comfortable and familiar, but no longer appropriate for you, you make room for new and more meaningful opportunities. And I guess that's what this is about too, as in relation to the Fool. Again, you can let go of all those hot and exciting times and people that are not so meaningful, and pinpoint one, if that's what you're interested in doing, with the Fool showing up here. Feminine, for us, our first abundance card. Detox your friendships. Your abundance flow is being affected by the people with whom you're spending time. So be discerning about your associations and relationships. Choose to be with people who are inspiring, generous, and supportive. Yes. So we may need to make some adjustments, to the people with whom we surround ourselves. That can mean adding more people who are, more positive and match our vibration or higher, from which we can learn something, or cutting some off. Or just looking around, taking an assessment, right? And seeing where we are with it all. Do we serve each other? Masculine, this is about your vibration. It'll help you with the manifestation power. Vegetarian/vegan. I don't know why this card is called this, because when you read this part, it says fresh, organic fruits and vegetables. So being vegetarian or vegan doesn't necessarily mean that you eat organic, actually to the contrary. The vegan diet has introduced a lot of processed food to the world, lab created stuff and pills and supplements and whatnot. So make sure we focus on this part. Fresh, organic fruits and vegetables, or food in general, as whole and organic as possible, is what's going to give you a boost of high energy life force that's going to elevate your spiritual frequency. Ooh, feminine. Twin flame. The answer to your question involves a spiritually based romantic relationship. And that may be why we, meet somebody or encounter somebody that we already know, and potentially miss out on them, because we don't realize that's how that is part of the twin flame dynamic or divine union. First you don't realize, and then it's like, like yesterday I wasn't interested in that person. Now I'm totally in love with them. What's going on right now? You know what I mean? And that would also explain a reason why religious factors is here, because that was my first explanation about that. It can show up sometimes when it is there is some sort of clandestine relationship. There you have it. Boom. So we could be meeting somebody very, very special. If we're open to that, right? You have to be receptive and accessible to these things. If you block it, then obviously it's not going to come. Masculine. You're getting another one of these cards about speaking or thinking positivity over yourself and then having faith that it'll come through. And these are like the steps to manifestation. Like the number one does represent the thoughts, the words, the ideas. And number two is about the faith that those things are going to come through. And then the three is continued optimism, and you begin to see it taking form. You can see it on the horizon. And then by the time the four shows up, we got a solid foundation, you know? You open the doorway to positive experiences and opportunities with your positive expectations and energy. Don't allow negative energy or temporary setbacks to interfere with the path that you're on. Keep the faith and keep going. Because what happens is these things, you know, a setback occurs, right? Something negative happens. And its purpose is to bring us down, to cause us to drop, allow our vibration to be lowered, and for us to lose faith in ourselves, in the universe, whatever. If you just take it for what it is and then get back to manifesting and focusing on positive things and turning it around, you know, these things can be fixed. Or, you know, averted, or we can go around them, learn to work around the obstacles if we can't, you know, pick them up. Feminine, focus on your priorities. Where you put your focus is where you receive your outcome. I kind of just said that, right, in different words. Like, you know, if you focus on it and you want it, you'll bring it in. If you block it, then you won't. Yeah, same thing. Your priorities are calling you, which may produce a feeling of anxiety unless you give them the time and attention that they deserve and that you deserve. Even a small amount of time devoted to your priorities will help you to feel better and more confident. And lastly, I robbed us all of #creepy deck. So this would have been the masculine's card, but since it fell away, I don't think it should be. I think it's, you know, it's just out here. And it is like a 5 of Swords / 5 of Wands kind of card. So maybe, again, you do have reason to be distrustful of someone. Again, if you feel it in your gut, you know, go with that. Just don't go off on anybody without checking it out, you know. Don't confront anybody like you have facts when it's just your, you know, intuition or feeling, because there is also a propensity for a possibility where that you are just overwhelmed because you got a lot going on. But yeah, this is showing up and saying there's probably some 5 of Swords or 5 of Wands stuff going on around you. And that's for, again, all of us, since it just laid there like that. And the masculine's card and our card. Masculine, #creepy deck, friendship. Did I talk about healing friendships? I did talk about how you could have a friendship and it can develop into something more. And then we see here, this friend's got like a wedding band type of ring on their hand. So that to me is indicative of a friendship developing into something more too. This may be your, you know, like connection to this religious factors and twin flame card. And lastly, for the feminine, children, with these 3 kids. So it's kind of like a positive party of 3 for me. It's very Empress-like because, you know, these are children, so it's like, you know, they're new. They're new here. They could be representative of creativity and new ideas and new paths and abundance. And again, maybe even a bundle. So somebody's been trying to work on getting pregnant this week, or trying to work on getting pregnant in general this week. And next week, this 2 weeks could be a good time for you to definitely continue to work on it and be successful. Or during this period, you may be finding out. And you'll end up with an expression like this little boy. What do you mean I'm pregnant? Yeah, you may be finding out that you are. For others who, to whom that doesn't happen, again, creativity, new ideas, new situations, new pathways, abundance, just awesomeness. It's awesomeness. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the Gemini bi-weekly reading. I will be back in 2 weeks. Do be sure to also catch your moon and rising. Namaste.